Hello, traders. Welcome to the last week of the trading week in August. And I believe you've been following through and seeing how the market analysis has been playing out. All right, so today we'll be starting with the COT reports, which is my fundamental my where I get my fundamentals to predict the markets, also be technical analysis. From last week, the COT report says the commercials were trading at 62%, but closing of last week, you can see COT's the commercials are 60.3%, and we see more long in the markets. So I check out for these as well before diving into the technical aspects of trading. You can see the US index, we have more shorts from the commercial parts in US dollar index. Let's move to the charts. If you've been following for quite a while now, you'd see um GBP USD has been my only trade, and it has been bullish for a long time now. I'll just do a quick recap for those who are joining us for the week. You could see we have GBP USD on a bullish move for since around 2022. We have markets buying, and still moving higher. And this brings to how I came about the analysis, the buy side analysis of the markets. You could see that we've had price rejecting this level for quite a while. See price rejecting this level for quite a while. And market structure has been giving us, a break of higher the highs. These you can see this, you can see a pullback, and price has been on a bullish move since this month, August. Now, let's see what has happened previously. We could see we have this as the swing high, and then we have a pullback, price try buying, have another pullback to this level. And now you could see we have the buyer stepping in and breaking the structure. Then we have a pullback, which I said this is likely a bullish move already in place, as we have a low, or we have another low, a higher low. And if we see price has broken this high, and we see a break of this high with a week. However, this everything in this market signifies a bullish move. And let's look at moving average. Moving average, market is directly above the moving average. This is also another confluence to let you know that the market is on a bullish move from the daily time frame. Same thing when you go to the 4 hours time frame, you can see the market has been on a bullish move. You can go back to the previous videos to also confirm this. And I did all of this so that you could understand how price action works for those traders who don't really understand price action. Price action is very easy to understand and to analyze, and know all of those um all of those forex words that are confusing to to beginner traders. Now, for the last week of August, let's first of all see what the market has been doing. Uh, we can see July market was, the buyers were in control of the markets, and this is August. We are going into the last week of August, and August has the buyers has also been positive on buying GBP USD, and you could see we have a new high above the month of July, right? So this is saying the buyers are really taking control of the markets. We'll just go straight to the 4 hours. When you look at the 4 hours, I did this for you to have a very good understanding that the market has been on a bullish move. Let me take out this. And for a market that has been on a bullish move, you just have to look out for buying opportunities. It's just as simple as that. Look for the trend first of all, and you look for entries that that correlates with the trend. Now we see from the 2 hours we had a change of factor from here, had a very little pullback, and from there we can see price um buying all the way and breaking this high. Now this high is we've we've had price breaking this high first of all. And from here, we did not really have a strong pullback because the buying momentum is very strong. And now we see price breaking this high with the week. However, we either expect a pullback to happen because we expect a pullback after a structure has been broken. But at this point, we haven't gotten a significant pullback. And at this point, there is a possibility of we having a pullback. Or whatever is going to happen in around these points, we are going to take note of that on the lower time frame. When you want to get a change of character, you want to see a change of character happening um in the markets, you would take note of that, or you would see it right from the lower time frame. Something has something like that uh, at this point. Now let's look at the 15 minutes time frame. 15-minute time frame is time frame for me for taking my entries, right? For taking my entries. Then when you zoom out, you could see price has been on a bullish move, and I've been expecting a pullback like I said, from the COT reports, last week we had the commercials going in with over 62%, and closing last week you could see there's a minus 2% from the commercial aspects of the institutional traders, which is the bigger markets participants. What are we expecting, or what am I looking out for? Like I said, the market is clearly on a bullish trend. However, we are expecting a pullback, and taking a pullback is risky. And even though aside from that, every trade is also risky, so we always take note of um our risk. It's our risk that helps us um manage our losses. Now, looking at this GBUSD from the 15 minutes time frame, we can see that we have this was the last high that was taken. We had a pullback, to this point. We saw price markets buying all the way to these points, and we are currently here. Two things are likely to happen. It is either, the buying continues, or we have, if I take a sell, which is going to be a short-term sell, because we expect the sell to just be a pullback for the buy to continue, right? So if I take a sell, we have to look at a break of this structure, and maybe probably also a break of this structure. There are two different kind of traders. We have ones that are very aggressive. Once we have this break and the retest, I might be going for a sell. Might be going for a sell here. Uh, then we can't really tell how far the pullback is going to be, because, like I said, from this point, I've been anticipating a pullback um from this point, and this is not to even say that the pullback must even happen, because there are times whereby a pullback doesn't even happen after a very long um buy or a sell. So we only trade according to what price action is saying, and we just have to follow the trend, right? But we already have we already have the foresight that the um long-term direction of the GBP USD is on a bullish trend, and I can only either wait for the change of character to go in for a sell, or I just wait for a change of character, or I just wait for the pullback to end, then go in for a buy, which would be more safe, but as well it requires a lot of waiting because um when we're expecting a pullback, we don't know if the pullback might even break a lot of structures and then um continue the bullish move. Or the pullback might just even be a very short pullback and the bullish move continues. We can't really tell how far the pullback can be. So that is that on the GBP USD. GBP summarize, we're expecting, I'm anticipating a pullback, and I would only go in for the sell if there is a break of this structure or the both structures, this structure and this structure, to confirm that, oh yes, we the pullback is actually in place, is actually happening, right? And at the same time, like I said, everything still boils down to risk because you may still have price breaking this and breaking this, and what you see next is the bullish move continues. So it all depends um on the momentum of the buyers or and the sellers. Now let's compare this with the US dollar index. When you look at the US dollar index, like I said, US dollar index has been on a bearish move ever since we had a break of this structure. Let's go to the daily time frame. Now when we look at the daily time frame, we could see that the price has also been retesting this level for quite some time. We had from here, we had here, we had here, and fortunately for us, we saw price breaking out from this level. And I know most of traders who will be looking out for a buy could also be looking out for a buy. However, we had price breaking back into this zone, had a candle retesting, and we see a very strong bearish move. Um, so we could also do the same thing. We have our price action giving us the bearish structures. So all you just have to look out for is looking out for the structures because the structures tells you exactly where the market is heading to. Now we look at the structure, you can see from the moving average we have price below the moving average. And I was saying something during the first week of August in the first analysis. I said there is a possibility of price coming towards this direction and we see a buy. Why? Because I said I saw price breaking out from this high. This is a high, this is a low, and we see price breaking out from this high. This forms a higher high, right? And but because we have a very strong sell, I said there is a possibility of the price being the markets, going in for the bearish move. Why? Because from the higher time frame, which is from the weekly, we can see that this market is a bearish market from the weekly structure, right? But from daily charts, I could see something. We see this high, we see this low, we see price creating another high, even though we still have this level here. But this is still considered as a break of structure because we have uh, a high, we have a low, and price broke this high. Then I said there's possibility of this being a pullback for price to, continue um as a bullish market. But however, let's see, we can see that there's also a strong possibility that this is a continuation of the bullish trend, right? So everything still boils down to price action. Now, from the 4 hours time frame, it is very clear that this is a bearish market. Why? Because we have price breaking into the zone. We have a low, a high, so price breaking into this level as well. And now we have also a strong break of this level. What am I expecting? Expect either price to pull back to this level and continue the sell because that is what is more reasonable at this point. We have this low. So that is what is more reasonable at this point to look for a sell opportunity. So I either expect price to pull back, might get here, might not get here, but I'll just anticipate that the US dollar index is being on a bearish move. We could even see from the COT reports that the institutional traders are pushing the market all the way down, right? So market structure tells about everything. So we look at this, we can see uh price got to this point. See, go to the 1 hour. Can see almost like a double bottom here. This is looking like a double bottom, but we just have to go with what the price action is saying. Has to go with what price action is saying. So at this point, we don't really have a structure to look out here for, except for this, have something like this and something like this. So this is what this is what I can see in the markets. This, and this. So there is a possibility of price, breaking out, but we are still just looking out for a retest. Except, except this is a pullback for price to continue the sell. For except this is a pullback for price to now start a bullish move, right? Because I said earlier on that this is also considered as a break of structure to the upside because this is also a low that is meant to be protected. Now, let's even see something like this. Okay, so you can see price has even gone below the 50% level on the US dollar index. So for me, I don't just go see the market in one angle. No, you have to see the buy side. You also have to see the sell opportunity in the markets and not just have one direction that the market is going to, because definitely everyone sees the market in two different ways. The sellers are seeing opportunity, the buyers are seeing opportunity. So this can also be, like I said, a possibility of a pullback and price going in for a buy, and as well this could be a retest. Price just wants to pull back for a retest and continue the sell. So that is what we have on this is what I see from my own analysis, and we can come to see the outcome by the end of the trading week. And I hope this week is going to be a profitable one for everyone out there. Thank you once again. I'm Chimrich. I look forward to your thoughts, your comments, and also your view of the markets. Do have an amazing trading week.